I'm Clay. This is Dog. We're doing a quick introduction video on who we are, how do we rate our reviews, some things about our reviews, what do we use in reviews, and what do we use normally. So the first thing is, well, I'm Clay, former smoker, now a vaping hobbyist enthusiast. And I guess we've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
This is Dan, aka Debian Dog.
Yep. And I actually used to work for Philip Morris. Smoked a lot of their products for a number of years. And then, I was looking to quit smoking, and Clay's like, I started vaping, and it's really working for me. And I was like, for the money, I'll give it a shot. And I was a convert like day one. I got a handle on everything, like most of you all out there, it's like, okay, now I got this device, what am I going to use in it? And I started buying a lot of different juices, trying different ones out. I kind of shied away from the tobacco ones. I really thought when I first started that, I'd be, I wanted something just like my analog, but I really don't anymore. I mean, I don't dislike the tobacco ones, but I favor more the candies or the, fruits or the nuts.
You're more of a coffee. Coffee. You like the sweet ones. I like sweets. I like the fruits. Not so much into the bakery ones or the nut ones. But Dan's down in Southern Virginia. I'm up in Northern Virginia. Some of our other hobbies are, well, we do a lot of RC stuff. He does a lot of video stuff. I do some still photo stuff. So this is kind of like a good transition for us, and that's why we wanted to help out here. Some of the things we do in our reviews, how we rate, goes on a scale from 1 to 5. Flavor, because we don't want to base it on whether or not we like it. We want to base it on whether or not it hits the mark on what the label says or what the description says. And if it's kind of average and it's in the ballpark, it's a 3. If it's above average and it just needs a little bit more, it's usually in the 4 range. And if it's just, bar none, probably on mark, it just wows us, it's a 5. Anything less than a 3 pretty much goes down from there. Same thing with the vapor. We have expectations. Throat hit. Throat hit is subjective. I think it depends on a lot of things, both on nicotine. It depends on the mix ratio. It also depends, I think, somewhat on the type of PG or VG that's used, and also a little bit on heat.
Yep.
But pretty much our premise on the reviews is we want to keep every juice review under 3 minutes.
Yep.
Having looked at a lot of other reviews, a lot of them will go into like the 7 or greater minute time frame, and it's a lot to cover. Even if it's just one juice or multiple juices, we wanted to nick it down into like a real short, sweet, here it is, here's what's going on, this is what we get, this is our impressions. And usually...
But we're going to drag this one out for a long time, so you can go ahead and cut this off now if you don't want to sit around and watch it. But yeah, I mean, that was why we started. It's like, really, I don't need you talking about, your kids at school and whatever else is going on in your life. Every juice review. I guess some people probably like that stuff. I just want to know, what it was, how it vaped, what you thought of the flavor,
where you got it,
and where you got it, and the end.
One of us usually has some time with the juice for a week or two, and the other person, it's their first impression.
Yeah, it's like, you can't really. I could pan these down, but I'll show you a picture. We have tons of juices here, and typically we try to. Clay probably buys more than I do, but I'll try them, all the ones I have, and bring them up here, and then sort them by how much I think you'll like them or not.
Torture me.
And then and he'll do the same. So when you see these reviews, one of us is trying it for the first time,
and one of us has had time with it. The big thing is, for reviews, we've been using egos at a set set voltage for consistency, and low resistance atomizers, 510s. But the other stuff that we use off camera in our own time.
Yep. This is probably my 75%. I'm using this Infinity. It's a variable voltage, and I have a gooseneck on here just so I don't have to, when I'm vaping, I don't have to tilt it up. I can just, bend it down and sit on the couch and vape. I guess the only disadvantage is you have to use, you have to drip or use a carbomizer. On here, I just have Vapor Kings 2 ohms. They've been solid. And for the reviews, we use the Cisco Spec 510 atomizer, which are, I've tried, I don't know how many of them, 5 or 6 different brands.
Yeah,
Clay's tried more.
We go through a lot.
Like most things, and whether it's cameras or helicopters or anything, usually if something's a little more expensive, it's probably for a reason. That's not to say there aren't some like for instance, my Riva here. This is I think it was like $12 or something like that for the battery, and it's solid. It lasts a good bit of time. And
what's your on the go vaporizer?
Oh yeah, these are my. I usually keep 2 Go-Go's around, and some people don't like these because they're airy, but they're 1,300 milliamps, which means that if I'm on it all day, and these have, they can hold 3 milliliters. So I'll usually put 2 of these in the car, so I don't have to, flip around juices or anything, and then, I have 2.
Yeah, my on the go is a Rio Grande. I'm big on the bottom feeders. I've actually started doing 6 volts on them, but sometimes I'll stick with a 3.7. But my go-to for variable voltage, adjustable voltage, regulated, whatever you want to call it, is my Darwin. Again, I've got a gooseneck on mine because sometimes I do a tank. Some of the other ones I like, I'm kind of into a little bit of a mechanical mod kick, is I have some Precises from Super T, and they're pretty solid as well. PVs are PVs are PVs unless they're an adjustable, and that's kind of where you get your money at, because I tend to hit more in like the 5 volts range, sometimes up into a 6 volt range. Dan's pretty much the same.
Well, actually, I would say I usually vape below 4.2 volts in the 4 to 4.2 with the 2 ohms. I don't have a Darwin, so I don't know how many watts that is, but
you do have an Eclipse coming.
Yes, so look for that soon. I'll probably do a short, like 1 of the 3 minutes introduction, probably without Clay because we don't live really close to each other, and then I'll do an extended one with Clay after he's had a chance to play with it for a while. But yeah, that's the new. Clay's owned a Provari. We played with that for a while, and the people love them.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing
wrong with it.
Yeah, it's just another solid vaporizer.
And one of the reasons I actually picked this mod is because one of the things I liked about the Darwin was the little easy to
the
thumb wheel. But this is $75 compared to, I don't know how much those cost. More than $75.
But that's pretty much who we are, and what we're doing, and why we're doing reviews. We're doing juice specifically now, but we want to get into some equipment stuff, and we'll be covering different atomizers and it's kind of an introduction to vaping and all the equipment and whatnot. So be on the lookout for that, and subscribe, make comments. We try to get back to you.
We do. Yep. I mean, we both monitor the channel, so if you have plus or minus, like to see something, let us know. If you don't like from under cheese, let Clay know. He'll see what he can do.
But there you go, Dog and Clay.